What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are on this, the 1st of April. We're sitting at about $84,000 on a daily time frame, and we're looking pretty good. I gotta say, we're looking pretty good. The volume's not crazy, but it's all right. You know, it doesn't need to be. We can have low volume and still work our way up, and then inevitably the volume comes in and we really start to take off. It doesn't need to come in right here at these levels, but you know, more volume to the upside is better than it would be not to have. $84,000 now. I'm still calling for prices to go to $74,000 to $70,000. Make no mistake, that's still the call. It's very common whenever you find resistance, and maybe it's more obvious on a 4-hour basis. Very common when you find support, I should say, off the golden ratio, to find resistance at the 382 or resistance at the 0.5. So you're basically there at the 382 now. If we get today to close above 84K, that might be a interesting kind of look there, honestly. But really, 88,000 is the number that we need to close above. If we can close above $88,000 on today, tomorrow, any given day, I'll assume that, you know, we might be taking a bullish stance, and that this could be the low of this overall move that we've had since January 20th here. It's very possible, you guys. People are going to stop saying Trump dump. The Trump pump is coming, you guys. I don't know why I can't talk. I know why I can't talk. I just woke up. That's why. But we have a lot of work to do before any of that's validated, right? $88,000 is the line in the sand that we need to cross. Until then, bearish is what I remain, right? And even then, I would say that if tomorrow, April 2nd, if tomorrow's day closes and we haven't made any headway down to prices that are lower than this low, we might have found the low, you guys. There is a possibility, and I would say it's unlikely, the possibility, but where after April 2nd we continue to drop more. But maybe there's some other economic factors at play that don't involve the tariffs at all, that could promote some bearish price action afterwards, right? And the tariffs themselves will probably have a short-term negative impact as well. So that in correspondence with any other negatively received news, economically speaking, it could cause the price to go down a little bit more. But what I was expecting, what I have been expecting for a long time was that, and I should say it's too long of a time, but since last week, is that before April 2nd, we would be at these lows, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who thought that, right? And maybe that's exactly why we're not going down there. A lot of people are expecting lower prices, but we'll see. Holding out to that target area, definitely remaining bearish until the end of April 2nd, or at least until we're down at 74K or lower. 74 to 70K remains the call. 83.9K now. The daily RSI looks nice. You're bouncing off the 40. You had bullish divergence here, higher lows here, while bouncing off the 40. You're also bouncing off your golden ratio. That's nice, man. That's nice. It's a good setup. 4-hour time frame, decent volume coming in, right? Nothing terrible there. I don't get, and I mean, I guess I get how you can have above average on the 4-hour and lower than average on the daily, right? Daily's 45 days, 4 hours just 45 4-hour periods. Anyways, if that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. 4-hour RSI is looking good. It's looking like it's postured to go to the overbought zone, which is nice. 1-hour RSI also looking good. Honestly, looking pretty damn good. It's very common when you go from the overbought zone to find support in this area and continue to get overbought, right? You did that over here. You did that over here. You did that here a little bit lower, but still did that same thing, right? And with that, with each of these phases right here, if you look at this one, you know, I'm going to delete this so that we don't have to worry about that. You know, you dipped here, right there, and you continued upwards. Just a little bit, but then, you know, you started moving down. Here, you know, you had a little divot down, you continued upwards. Divot down, continued upwards. So this move could be partially finished, and we might have more to go. If we do have higher to go, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we found resistance somewhere around about $86,000, $86,500, $85,800, somewhere in that area, right? Something around 86K, just above, just below, whatever. That wouldn't surprise me. What would surprise me is a close above 88K. If we do that, you guys, that'd be time to flip bullish. It really would be time to flip bullish, and that's okay. You know, that's totally fine. I'd prefer that, honestly, rather than seeing this thing go down and taking the market with it. That would be, I suppose, preferred. On a weekly basis, if we look at it here, we're not really finding support anywhere. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it wouldn't necessarily make support to find support here. But it could happen, I suppose. Nothing has to make sense. Sometimes it's the things that don't make sense that actually happen. Finding support right above the 382 like this, wicking below it, but then closing above it. That's a good look, man. And all you have to do is get above the 236 here, which is at about, that one's at about 90K. I would say 88,000 is a very important level, but 90,000 might even be a more important level. And then, of course, the most important level would be 96.5K up here where this breakout point happened, 96.5K there. So, you've got a few steps to go, but you're looking good right now. Famous last words, man. It can change very, very fast. We've seen these drops happen very, very fast, before. If we look at this on a daily time frame first, right here, whenever we're moving down, this was our low. You can see obviously it took several days for this whole move to complete itself, but this last day here specifically, from an open to a low side, and that wasn't necessarily the open, was it? Let's see, let's get it right there. That was a 15% drop. If Bitcoin saw a 15% drop to finish out this move here, even from the current price of 14K or 84,000, that would take us to about $71,000 on the dot. And this is not as extreme as this is looking to be so far, but 15%, 13%, whatever, man. It could be a little bit less than that even. It could be like 12%. Something that ties up with these prior all-time high areas nonetheless, and something that would be lower. It's still very much on the table. Don't think that it isn't. We have to wait for a couple of things to take place before we can start getting excited. I've already talked about that, so I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame real quick. 15-minute time frame. I mean, they all look good. I would think you want to keep going up. The indicators look like you want to keep going up, but they've been producing some false signals lately, so just be aware of that. Yeah, don't get too excited until one of two things happens. Either tomorrow, it's April 2nd, tomorrow closes and we haven't seen any kind of negative repercussions, or get excited if we close above 88K, because if we do that, we're definitely reversing on a price perspective, and we will likely break out of this downtrend and see prices begin growing to new all-time highs. I don't think that it'll look exactly like that, right? Maybe we break out, we come down, we break out, we come down. The real celebration price is going to be at 96.5K, somewhere up in this zone. But we'll probably figure ourselves out for most of April. May will really be the month to launch from, and then June, I think we'll find our high in June. Late June, early June, whatever. The call for the end of this month, make no mistake, 74K to 71K included, 70K included, right? That area there. The call for the end of this month is to be all the way up at $111,000 by the end of the month. That's the call. We're sticking with it. We made that call yesterday. We're going to stick with it, right? Even with the downside still expected. So, but if the downside happens, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. We're still on our way up. We're still going to be seeing new all-time highs in a matter of weeks, in a matter of months. And we will be, I think, ultimately at 170K or higher whenever this next endeavor is all said and done. So we'll see how that goes. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, and just be aware. Don't get too excited, right? It's nice whenever the price moves up, but stay your emotions. Wait for confirmation. Confirmation is very important in this game. It's a very technical game. That's why they call it technical analysis. 88,000 itself is not a magic number, right? You can break above there and still go down, right? But if you are considering 88K to be significant like I am, I would say not just a wick, not just a 4-hour close, but a daily close, and ideally 2 days in a row to close above 88,000 is what it would take to validate that you are not just moving up and then moving down. You're continuing to move up, and that potentially this is the low. But until then, I remain bearish. Until then, I have no reason to be bullish. So take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.